You got a raise last year. Maybe you got a new job. Maybe you picked up a side hustle. Maybe you finally started making the kind of money you told yourself would fix everything. And yet, you check your bank account at the end of the month, and it looks exactly the same as it did when you were making less, maybe worse. So what's going on? Because here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Your brokenness has nothing to do with how much money you make. It never did. And until you understand what's actually happening, every raise, every bonus, every extra income stream will disappear just as fast as the last one. Spare me a few minutes. I'm going to show you exactly why. Let's call this what it actually is. You don't have an income problem. You have a lifestyle inflation problem wrapped inside an identity problem, wrapped inside a system that was specifically designed to keep you spending. That's a lot. Let's break it down. First, lifestyle inflation. This is the part nobody talks about because it sounds too simple to be real. But here's what happens every single time your income goes up. Your expenses go up with it. Not because you planned it, because you sat down and said, you know what, I think I'll spend more. It just happens automatically. You make a little more, so you move to a slightly nicer apartment. You make a little more, so you upgrade your phone, even though the old one worked fine. You make a little more, so eating out 3 times a week becomes 5 times a week. Because you deserve it. You earned it, right? That's the trap. And it has a name. Economists call it lifestyle creep. But honestly, it should just be called the invisible leak. Because that's exactly what it is. Money flowing out of your life silently, consistently, in amounts too small to notice individually, but devastating in total. Here's the math. If you get a $500 raise and your expenses go up $480, congratulations, saving $20 more per month. That's $240 per year. That is not going to change your life. But you felt richer. And that feeling is the whole problem.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Because lifestyle inflation is just the surface layer. Underneath it is something much harder to fix. And it has nothing to do with your spending habits. It has to do with who you think you are. Stay with me here. Every single one of your financial decisions is made by your identity before your brain even gets involved. What you buy, where you eat, what car you drive, what clothes you wear, none of that is really about the thing itself. It's about the story you're telling yourself and everyone around you about who you are. Think about it. Why do people buy expensive cars they can't afford? It's not transportation. There are $8,000 cars that get you from point A to point B just as well as a $60,000 one. But the $60,000 one says something. Or at least the person buying it thinks it does. Why do people live in apartments that eat 50% of their income? Because the address feels like proof. Proof that they made it. Proof that they're the kind of person who lives there. This is called social signaling. You are doing it right now, whether you realize it or not. We all are. It's not a character flaw. It's basic human psychology. We are wired to signal status to our tribe. Problem is, your tribe now includes Instagram, TikTok, and everyone you went to high school with. That audience never turns off. You're not just spending money. You're buying evidence that you're doing okay.
And that evidence is extremely expensive. Here's the brutal part. The people you're trying to impress with your spending, they're doing the exact same thing. They're broke too, just with better aesthetics. But here's what makes this genuinely hard to fix. It's not enough to just know this. You can watch 100 videos about money mindset and still end up at checkout with things you didn't need. Because knowledge alone doesn't rewire behavior. Systems do. And that's exactly what most people are missing.
Let's talk about systems, or more specifically, the fact that you don't have any. Saying, I want to save more money is the financial equivalent of saying, I want to get in shape. Great intention, zero mechanism. Without a system, it is just a wish dressed up as a plan. Here's what an actual system looks like. Step 1, pay yourself first. Before you pay rent, before you buy groceries, before you do anything, a fixed percentage of your income goes directly into savings or investments, automatically. Not what's left over at the end of the month. Because here's what's left over at the end of the month: nothing. There is always something that eats it. Pay yourself first and let the rest of your life adjust around what remains. Step 2, make spending harder. Your brain is lazy. It will always choose the path of least resistance. So if buying things is easy, one click, saved card details, same-day delivery, you will buy things. A lot of things. The fix isn't willpower. The fix is fortune. Delete saved payment details. Remove shopping apps from your home screen. Make impulse purchases take at least 24 hours. Not because you can't buy it, because 80% of the time you won't want it tomorrow. Step 3, name every dollar. Not a full spreadsheet budget, just a simple rule for where your money goes before it arrives. 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% future, or whatever ratio fits your life. The point isn't the exact numbers. The point is that unallocated money gets spent on nothing and everything simultaneously. Named money has a job, and money with a job doesn't disappear. These 3 steps alone will do more for your finances than any raise you will ever get.
But there's still one more layer. And this one is the one that keeps people broke for decades, even when they know everything I just told you, even when they have the systems, even when they understand the identity trap. It's the thing nobody in the personal finance world wants to say, because it doesn't sell courses. You are not building anything. Saving money is not enough. Not anymore. Not in an era where inflation quietly eats your savings account alive while you feel responsible for having one. Keeping money is not the same as growing money, and most people never make that jump. Here's the difference between people who escape the broke cycle permanently and people who just get slightly less broke over time. The first group understands that income from a job has a ceiling. Time is finite. You can only work so many hours. So at some point, the only way to make more money is to stop trading time for it. That means your money needs to work when you don't. Investments, assets, things that generate value while you sleep. This isn't complicated. It doesn't require being rich to start. Index funds, a digital product, a skill that scales, a small income stream that you build slowly on the side until it isn't small anymore. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow. You don't need a business plan. You need to start thinking like someone who is building something, not just someone who is surviving the month.
Because surviving the month is a full-time job that never pays off. So let's recap what's actually happening when you're always broke. Your income goes up, your lifestyle follows it immediately. Your identity keeps you spending to prove something to people who aren't paying attention. Your lack of systems means good intentions vanish by the second week of the month. And nobody ever taught you that saving isn't enough. You have to build. None of this is your fault, but all of it is your responsibility. The good news is that every single one of these things is fixable. Not with motivation, not with a vision board, with small, boring, consistent decisions made inside a system that works even when you don't feel like it. You already know something is wrong. That's why you're here. Now, you know what it is. The only question left is whether you're going to do something about it or keep checking your bank account at the end of the month wondering where it all went. Your call.